Okay, in this video we saw a little more complex logarithm equations. You need to be neat with your work, okay? And you might want to go on your computer and open up the GCF calculator. Just Google it. Greatest in the first one, calculator soup. Okay, there it is. We need it for some, but not for others. Okay, I'm going to get a piece of scratch paper because I'm going to need that. Okay, this box here, inside here, your job is to get rid of the logarithm. Okay, remember this is my base and this is my power. So put equals, and we're going to have base 5, power 3. That's a caret. Okay, now on the other side of the equation, I just put the crap that comes after the base 5, x plus 6. So you don't need the parentheses. Okay, that's 1. Now, in this box here, now what you're going to do is simplify this equation, okay, down here. So I can easily, my x is not in the power, so I don't do the, I don't circle it and split it, because I can easily find 5 to the third. It's 125. Okay, now when you saw this equation, you have the x, you have just regular x only. Okay, so just get it by itself. So minus 6, so 119 equals 1x. Don't need to divide by 1. Okay. Now my next problem, same thing. This square is for getting rid of the log. So again, 3 is my base, 4 is my power. It's going to be base 3, caret 4. On the other side, we put the expression after the base 3, 2x minus 7. Now the logarithm has been removed from the equation. Okay, then I simplify this, write it down here. So 3 to the 4th. Again, the x isn't the power here, so 81 equals 2 times x minus 7. So at that point, I see I have x only. So get the x by itself. Minus 7, 88, divided by 2. 88 divided by 2 is 44. Or x equals 44. Okay, pretty easy. Now the next one's a little bit nasty. Okay, first off, you got 2 logs, so you got to do a step before you get rid of the log. First off, you only want 1 log base 6. Okay, what comes after the first one? Okay, again. And what comes after the first? 2x minus 6. And then I rewrite plus using a times operator. And then what comes after the second log base 6? X equals 2. So now I simplified it so the log base 6 appears only once using the times. Now still in this square, I want to get rid of the logarithm. That's the base. That's the power. So it's 6 to the power of 2 equals the crap after the log base 6, parentheses 2x minus 6 times x. Now simplify it. 6 to the second is 36. Now on the other side, I will be using my scratch paper to multiply this. Okay? So I've got 2x minus 6 times 1x. Okay, you just take 2 times 1x, so it's 1, 2. 2x times 1x, and then that's the end of the 2, and then negative 6 times 1x. So it's 2x second, negative 6x. So x seconds 2, negative 6, and I don't have a constant. so I don't put that. So on this side, I put 2x to the second minus 6x. If it's negative, write it as minus. Okay, now here I have x to the second and also x. So I need to move everything to one side of the equation so I can factor this. So I want to get rid of the 36. Now 36 doesn't really go with anything because that has x and that has x, so I just put it behind. So now I have 2x second minus 6x minus 36 equals 0. Now that is 3 terms, so we're going to have to factor GCF and then my t-table. So the GCF, you don't have the negative, you don't have x on everything, 36 is void of x, so then I go here and I go 2, 6, and 36. GCF's 2. Okay, so 2 comes out, and I go divide all these by just 2. That's 1x to the second minus 3x minus 18. Then I A, B, C that, okay? And I take 1 times negative 18, which is negative 18. So it's a negative, so we're looking for a difference of 3. Now one thing that helps, 3 is negative, remember that. That goes on the bigger number. Nope. Nope. Yup. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 is negative, that means 6 is negative, and we have a negative up there, so the signs have to be the opposite, okay? Opposite of a negative is a positive. Now your A, go look at your A. A is 1, okay, that's good. 1x second. So I can just go x and then plus 3 minus 6. Now you're like, what about that 2? Now does the 2 have an x with it? It does not, so I kind of can just forget about it. But there is our 2 answers, okay? So x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 6 equals 0. So I subtract 3, I get negative 3. Add 6, I get 6. Okay, so again, simplify it so it just appears once. Use multiplication, and then do your base power. Put that crap after, then simplify it. That's 36. Multiply that on scratch paper. And when you realize you have x squared and x, you have to move everything to one side and set up your factoring. Okay, plenty more where that came from. Okay, get rid of the log. Well, there's 2 of them. Let's make it so there's only 1 of them first. And then x minus 9 plus means times, and then x minus 3 equals 2. Okay, now this is the base, and this is the power. So it's 3 to the second power, and on the other side I just have all this garbage. Okay, now the log's gone. Now come down here and simplify it. 3 to the second is 9. Okay, then I need to use my scratch paper to find that product. I have x minus 9 multiplied by x minus 3. Those would be 1s. 1, 2. This is a FOIL. Here it's just multiplying here, 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 but since I have 2 things in each parentheses, this is a FOIL. So 1x times 1x, 1x times negative 3, negative 9 times 1x, negative 9 times negative 3. So it's 1x second, negative 3x, negative 9x, positive 27. Now combine like terms. You have 1, negative 12, positive 27. Okay, so put those on the paper. 1x a second. Put minus 12x, please, plus 27. Now, what does the equation have? Well, you have x to the second, and you've also got regular x, so we're going to need to factor. Before I make my boxes, everything has to be on one side. So I subtract 9, and that goes very nicely with 27. Okay, so I'm going to write this crap over here. I'm going to put the 0 here. So it's 1x second minus 12x. 27 minus 9 is 18. Okay, 3 terms, so GCF. And the t-table. GCF negative in front, nope. X on everything, nope. 1 is the GCF. Okay, so I take positive 1 times positive 18. It's positive 18, so now I'm looking for a sum that would equal 12. Now remember, 12 is a negative. Okay. 1 plus 18 is not 12. 2 plus 9 is 11. So I'm already past it, went over the 12. That's a fail. You need to use your quadratic formula. So opposite of B, plus or minus d square root b squared minus 4ac. So b is negative 12, and 4a is 1, c is 18 over 2a. So 2 times 1, which we know is 2. Okay, so I calculate that square root. There won't be a domain error. If you do it right, second, x second, double the parentheses to get your negative 12, then close one of them, hit your second power, minus 4, 1, and 18. 8.49, so I'm going to put 8.49, and now I get my two answers. The quadratic formula always finds the two answers. So 12 plus 8.49 equals, divided by 2, 10.25. And then 12 minus 8.49 divided by 2, 1.76. Okay, now the next one. I only want one base log. Before I worry about getting rid of the log, there can only be one of them. So I've got x plus is synonymous with times when I'm condensing it into 1. Then another log base 2, and then parentheses x minus 2, then equals 3. Okay, now it is time to remove Mr. Logarithm. That's the base, that's the power. So 2 to the third power equals all this other crap. Okay, so x times x minus 2. If you want to put ones in front, go for it. Okay, now down here we're simplifying it. Okay, 2 to the third power, it's 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8. And I'm going to the scratch paper. I've got 1x times 1x minus 2. So first, 1x times 1x, and then 1x times negative 2. Gives me 1x to the second, negative 2x. Okay, I got 1, negative 2. Now I don't have any constants. So 1x to the second minus 2x. Now, write what you have. You got x to the second and you got x, so you're going to need to factor. Move everything to one side. Now the constant 8 has nothing to go with, so it will just go behind everything. And I now have 1x second minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. I'll make my boxes up here. So it's GCF and T-chart. GCF, negative, nope. X on everything, nope. 1, 2, and 8's just 1, whenever 1's one of the trio of numbers, or 2 of the one of the numbers. Okay, 1 times negative 8's negative 8, so difference of 2. 2, 4, bingo, this works. Okay, and also the 2 is negative, which tells me that my 4 has to be negative, and we have a negative product, so the signs have to be opposite. Okay, now the A was simply 1. And then XX plus 2 minus 4. I'm thinking there's 2 answers here. So minus 2, you get negative 2. Plus 4, you get 4. Okay, first one, get rid of the logarithm. Or, well, I can't get rid of it because there's 2 of them. Now make it so there's 1 of them. So log 3, then x minus 9, plus means times, then x minus 3 equals 2. Okay, now get rid of the logarithm. Again, that's my base. That's my power. So I write 3 to the second power. And write all this garbage here. Parentheses x minus 9 times parentheses x minus 3. And that's how the logarithm gets removed. Now simplify the equation. 3 to the second's 9. Use your scratch paper to find the product on the other side. Again, when you find a product of 2 binomials, 1, 2. One x second, negative 3x, negative 9x, 27. So blank x squared plus blank x plus blank. I got 1, negative 12, 27. I already did this problem, okay? This is the same problem as this. God, I'm such an idiot. Well, I'm not going to proceed with it then. Okay. This one's an easy one. This is the only log. It's going to be 2 to the 6 equals x minus 4. It's going to be x only. This one you got to make. This one's harder. Okay, you will need to use scratch paper. You're going to need to use your factoring boxes. You got to clear one side.